come through. This thing.
Stranger Things 5 is imagined as a dark, emotional, and epic conclusion to the story that began with a single disappearance in the quiet town of Hawkins. This final chapter leans heavily into the idea that childhood has truly ended, and the world the characters once knew can never return to what it was. The tone is heavier, more intense, and more mature, while still holding on to the heart, friendship, and nostalgia that defined the series from the beginning. From the opening moments, the story makes it clear that the battle against the Upside Down is no longer hidden or contained. It is real, visible, and unavoidable. The story begins in a Hawkins that feels broken and scarred. After the massive rift opened between the real world and the Upside Down, the town is no longer safe. Parts of Hawkins are abandoned, cracked open by dark veins of another dimension bleeding into reality. Fear has spread among the people, and rumors, paranoia, and blame have replaced the innocence that once defined the town. The government presence is stronger than ever, attempting to control information and maintain order, but their efforts feel weak against the threat that does not follow human rules. At the center of the story are the original group of friends, now older, more hardened, and deeply affected by everything they have lost. 11 struggles more than ever with her identity and power. She is no longer just a weapon or a miracle. She is a young woman carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders. Her abilities feel unstable, tied closely to her emotional state, and she fears that using her power too much may cost her something she cannot get back. Her journey in this season is not just about fighting monsters, but about deciding who she wants to be when the war is over. Mike becomes a steady, emotional anchor, no longer the unsure boy from earlier seasons. His role is about leadership through empathy, not strength. He believes in 11 even when she doubts herself, and their relationship is tested by fear, distance, and the possibility that sacrifice may be inevitable. Their bond represents hope in a world that feels like it is falling apart. Dustin brings intelligence and heart to the group, but his humor is quieter, more restrained. He has seen too much loss to joke without consequence. His role focuses on decoding the rules of the Upside Down, uncovering patterns that suggest this invasion has been planned for far longer than anyone realized. He becomes obsessed with understanding how it all began, believing that the key to ending it lies in its origin. Lucas continues to wrestle with guilt and grief, especially tied to the people he could not save. His strength this season is emotional resilience. He represents the human cost of the supernatural war, showing how trauma shapes choices and courage. His arc emphasizes bravery that comes from love rather than fearlessness. Max's presence is deeply emotional. Whether she is physically present or recovering from her past trauma, she exists as a symbol of survival and consequence. Her connection to the Upside Down leaves her changed, possibly acting as a bridge between worlds. Her memories, visions, or lingering connection to Vecna give the group crucial insight, but at a great personal cost. Will's role becomes central in this final chapter. His connection to the Upside Down has never truly faded, and now it grows stronger. He can feel the shifts, the movements, and the intentions of the enemy. Unlike before, this connection is clearer, more painful, and more revealing. Will understands that the Upside Down is not just a place, but a reflection of emotion, trauma, and control. His struggle is about reclaiming himself from something that has tried to define him. Since childhood. The antagonist's presence looms over every moment. The entity controlling the Upside Down is no longer just a monster, but an intelligence shaped by hatred, loneliness, and obsession with control. The villain believes the human world is weak, chaotic, and undeserving of survival. This threat is not loud or reckless. It is patient, strategic, and deeply personal, targeting characters based on their fears and regrets. The plot unfolds through multiple converging paths. Parts of the group investigate the origins of Hawkins itself, uncovering dark secrets buried long before the lab experiments. The town's history becomes intertwined with the Upside Down, suggesting that Hawkins was never as ordinary as it seemed. This revelation reframes the entire series, turning the town into a focal point rather than a coincidence. Meanwhile, other characters focus on closing the rift between worlds. They discover that destroying the Upside Down outright may not be possible without destroying parts of their own world. This creates a moral dilemma: save humanity at the cost of their home, or protect what they love while risking everything. The pacing is relentless, alternating between emotional character moments and intense horror-driven sequences. The Upside Down is more terrifying than ever, no longer confined to shadows. Creatures roam freely, environments shift unpredictably, and familiar places become nightmarish reflections of themselves. The horror is psychological as much as physical, preying on memory and fear. As the story builds toward its climax, alliances form in unexpected ways. Former enemies reveal hidden truths, and authority figures are forced to confront their failures. Sacrifice becomes a recurring theme, not as a heroic fantasy, but as a painful reality. Every victory comes with loss, and every choice carries irreversible consequences. The final confrontation is deeply emotional rather than purely violent. The characters realize that defeating the Upside Down requires more than power, it requires understanding. The battle becomes symbolic, centered on reclaiming control from an entity that feeds on fear and pain. Love, memory, and human connection become weapons just as powerful as strength or strategy. The resolution is bittersweet. The Upside Down is stopped, but the cost is permanent. Hawkins will never return to what it was, and neither will the characters. Childhood is officially over, replaced by scars, wisdom, and resilience. Some characters move forward, others remain behind in spirit or memory. But all are changed. The ending focuses on quiet moments rather than spectacle. Friends sitting together in silence, familiar places reclaimed, and the sense that survival itself is a victory. The story does not promise a perfect future, only the chance to live without constant fear. The imagined release of Stranger Things 5 positions it as a powerful conclusion to a generational story. It blends horror, science fiction, and emotional drama into a finale that honors its characters and audience. Rather than relying on nostalgia alone, it evolves with its viewers, acknowledging growth, loss, and the cost of courage. The trailer is envisioned as dark and atmospheric, filled with slow-building tension, haunting music, and glimpses of destruction and intimacy. It avoids revealing major outcomes, focusing instead on emotion, fear, and the sense that everything has been leading to this moment. Overall, Stranger Things 5 is imagined as a haunting, emotional farewell that closes the door on Hawkins while leaving a lasting impact. It is a story about friendship tested by time, the loss of innocence, and the strength required to face darkness without losing humanity. The final chapter does not just end a series, it completes a journey that began with curiosity and ends with understanding.